How do you maintain your goals? The last 12 weeks has been hard on all of us. Find out how vision boards can actually help you get through tough times. Find out this and more coming up next. Mitchell, and this is To The Point. We have a great show for you today, and I know, stop me if you've heard that line before, but every show's great in my eyes, and hopefully in yours too. But we have a great show for you today. We have a little combo of a little bit of everything. We're going to be talking to an amazing travel influencer who's going to talk about how COVID-19 has affected her industry, but how she pivoted and was able to find side hustles to help her get through. She's also going to share how her vision board helped her achieve these goals and how she's been able to achieve all the travel that she wanted to do and not spend a dime. Pretty amazing, right? So we can't wait to welcome to our show the amazing Stephanie Ellen. So let's give a big round of applause and get to the point with Stephanie Ellen. Welcome to the show, Stephanie. How are you doing today?
I am amazing. It's like one of the only sunny days in New York today, so it's a good day.
Oh, good old New York. You guys haven't been in the news. Nothing's happening there. You guys are just fine.
No, not at all.
So have you been able to go out yet? I know that's not what you're here to talk about, but have you been able to go out and enjoy a meal yet? Is that where you guys are at? Or
honestly, I hate to shamefully admit that I have gone to a restaurant, but I went once for a birthday. Yes, we did. But, I think that things are going to close down again, so I'm really hoping. I'm hoping that people are staying home. I'm staying home now, okay? Promise.
It's important. So you heard that here first. She says she's staying home. So there you go. But you have to go get a haircut. I went and saw my barber, got all cut up. It was a need.
I just let it go and then donate it whenever I can.
There you go. See, you could do that. I can't do that. I know one of my favorite. I'm a big Peloton rider, and I know Dennis Morton does that with his hair. And he's got the locks of love. Like, just he's a beautiful man with his long hair. It's like I laughed when he cut his hair. I was like, I love Peloton. I could talk about Peloton. I could probably do a whole episode on Eric's favorite people at Peloton.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to buy one, actually. I'm thinking about it. I don't want to, because all the gyms are closed. I'm like, I need.
It's awesome. It's great. I've done it. It's a great thing. When we're done here, that's actually what I'm going to go do. I love my Peloton. It's great because they're motivational, too. If you're looking to get by, and they're all in New York, or New York and London, but it's been cool to kind of see how they talk about
they're very motivational.
What's going on, and you can look out their window like Alex Trusant. He's like, I don't know where the hell he lives in a night.
I'm out at home now. That's so funny. I'm like, what a shift, huh?
Right? Like everybody's like, hey, I could be healthy and have this really expensive toy in my house. So anyway, Stephanie, it's great having you on here. So you are a travel influencer.
Mm-hmm.
So that probably means you have a lot to say on the coronavirus, this wonderful COVID-19 that has showed up and ruined your... Now, I travel enough to get diamond status. Whoa, I just totally jumped up in size in my head. Hold on, I got to fix that real fast.
Have you seen that effect on TikTok?
Boom. I was like, wow, what did I say? I was like, wow, we're right here. So let's not do that. That's why we love live. But I travel enough that I'm a diamond status with Delta. Shout out to Delta. But I haven't been able to really travel, obviously. It's hard, and you have to travel with a mask. So as a travel influencer, how has this affected you? Obviously by your Instagram, you like to travel a lot. So you're lucky. I travel between the West Coast and East Coast. It's not like it's like, woo.
No, you got to aim bigger all over the world.
I'm trying.
Yeah, well, okay. So a few years ago, I founded MissUSAInternational.com, and I found sponsors. I found contracts that allowed me to perform and travel, that allowed me to model and travel and live my dreams exactly the way I wanted. After working a few years at NBC, which was my first job, I always wanted to work in entertainment. So after being behind the camera in production, I was like, I want to be in front of the camera. I founded this company. I went out on a limb, created the most amazing vision board that truly did change my life like magic. And not only now have I traveled for the past 4 years, everywhere around the world, 6 months out of the year doing what I love, but I've also been able to give other girls the opportunity to do the same, which has been even more fulfilling than actually doing it myself. And when you have like someone's mother approach you and say, thank you for giving my daughter this opportunity, or thank you for changing her life, it's like at my age, I feel so compelled to do more and go further with this. And then all of a sudden, boom, COVID hits and literally everything is out. And what's so funny is that it's not only travel influencers. Actually, right now in the marketing industry, because a lot of brands are experiencing this uncertainty in times and also in sales, that they're pulling out influencer budgeting. They're postponing campaigns, all influencers. Right now what we're seeing are the stars that would be normally filming something, getting onto YouTube, getting onto TikTok, and kind of taking those the budget away from those smaller influencers. So we're seeing the big influencers get bigger and those medium and small influencers kind of falling to the wayside, even though before micro influencers were almost more popular and more effective than the bigger influencers. So it's a big shift change, even though the engagement on the internet is more than ever. So people think, I'm going to get online right now, I'm going to become an influencer, this is going to be it, I'm going to make money. But actually it doesn't matter, like, because they're pulling out that influencer budget. So a lot of influencers, and big and small, should be thinking about going in the direction of subscription-based for content, or personalized shout-outs, things like that. But in terms of getting sponsorships and things like that, especially for travel, obviously, I mean, some people have been completely wiped out. And for, how long do we even know,
That's interesting you talk about that. So how's that going to affect you as we start to be able to travel again? I read the message this morning. I love picking on Delta in a positive way. I read their message on how they're launching. I was a fan when they said no more middle seats. I was like, finally.
Yeah, I know. I have gone to Asia, God knows how many times, and I have sat in between two angry Asian men so many times. Like, it's fine. It's over now.
I mean, so when do you get to start traveling again? I mean, is it going to start back up? I mean, obviously we have to wear a mask when we fly, which is, I don't see the issue with that.
No.
I mean, if I get to travel, I'm going to wear a mask. Just like if I need to wear a mask to go, I don't know these, I sidetrack here, but I don't understand everybody's upset about wearing a mask. If you get to go out and eat, it's like...
Let me tell you something. Actually, I got into the business, and I was going to talk about this later. I'm in the business of selling PPE, which is personal protective equipment, masks, thermometers, and stuff. So I actually really took advantage of the time once, the whole travel influencer was kind of out of the question. I went into PPE, started selling masks, and kind of getting behind that. So, I mean, taking advantage of the time for influencers, especially travel influencers, you got to get smart and realize you have to have more than one revenue stream in this day and age. But yeah, how it's affecting me personally? Oh man, well, thankfully I do have many revenue streams. I'm an author of a book. I have sponsorships that are kind of ongoing for things that aren't travel as well. And, my side hustle as a model and all those things online. So thankfully I have prepared myself for this. But I don't know when it's going to begin again. A lot of my influencer friends, some of them have got stuck in other countries. And they're like, for how long? They don't tell them. They say a lot in the news. You see that they're like, U.S., be prepared to stay in another country for an indefinite amount of time. All of the things are changing, the regulations. And so it's a very uncertain time. Thankfully, a lot of airlines are giving you a lot of leeway with getting you flights and all that, but it is, I mean, you're really risking a lot financially, time-wise, work-wise, if you're going to travel right now, influencer or not.
That's funny that you talk about that, because the airlines are working with you. I mean, I know we just booked travel, international travel. We're actually going to Mexico next month, which I'm excited to. I love Mexico. We have property down there. I love Mexico. That's why I'm like, if I get stuck there, I'll be fine. I can.
Yeah. No problem.
I can live there, no problem. The fact I don't speak Spanish.
Planes and you're just on the beach.
I'm good. This dumpster fire that has become our country lately, I won't miss. I'll be fine in Mexico. And right now somebody's like, oh, he said that. I did. But hey, I serve my country, damn it. I can say what I want. That's what it is. The privilege of being a Marine. But when you look at it, I mean, it is good to see the airlines flexible to work with people. I think people shouldn't be afraid to travel. The airline industry is doing their part. I think they've been very forthcoming with saying how much, I mean, it is affecting them. They've lost a lot of flights. Flight attendants are going without work. It's hard. So people just need to suck it up. I saw one person complaining, oh, I don't get to drink on a plane. That's your complaint?
My life. I feel that pain so hard.
Yeah, I feel it too, but it's like, my thing is like, I'll live. If I get to go to my destination, I'll be fine. The fact I get to leave my house and go still kind of get to the new normal, I don't mind it. And also, I'm going to sound really self-centered and as a traveler here. I don't mind the new routes they're making us go. It's more miles. So,
I didn't know that actually. Now I'm probably going to book some travel. The thing is, again, is getting stuck. And for airlines, it's a huge opportunity to gain the loyalty of new customers. Like this is a time of such uncertainty, and things can go both ways for a lot of things. And so, yeah, there's a lot of opportunity, but also, yes, thank you, airlines. I know that I had travel plans to Europe in August and September, and now those are up in the air. So if that happens, I will update you. I will be there and say hello.
I love it. So let's talk about, you mentioned additional revenue streams, and I think that's important. We have 40 million people unemployed in our country, which is crazy. So let's talk about additional revenue streams. I mean, how can folks go about doing it? Obviously, not everybody's a model, or everybody can act or do other things. But you have a talent, or you could drive an Uber. Uber Eats. Those delivery services are. I mean, I see people hiring all over. So the fact that there's so many unemployed people, yet people are hiring, to me, that's a good sign. If you have a car, you could do a lot. We're still getting food delivered, products. Hello, Amazon. I know our house loves Amazon. It shows up here every day.
My whole thing is Amazon. Like everything I have in my home is probably from Amazon, I'm sure.
Built a whole studio on Amazon. Everything I own is Amazon. I don't even think
sponsor this video.
Yes, Amazon and Nike. Please sponsor me. Yeah. We'll keep asking. But so how do folks go about finding a side hustle that works for them? And I know people who use the word side hustle. You're right, I did. Because you need it. It's a side income, side hustle. If your first hustle is not working, you need some side ones. You need to make up that revenue stream because you got to pay rent. You got to put a roof over your head. You got to put groceries. You got to eat. Got to look good. Got to go get your hair did. All important things you got to go do. And people are like, there's the one side where people put their head in the ground. They're like, oh my God, the sky's falling. So I think first advice I know from me is don't panic. And then I'm going to turn it over to the expert of side hustle over here. That's your side hustle expert.
It's about, training your brain to see opportunity instead of, misfortune in any situation. But what I say to people is, and this is the best advice I ever got in terms of creating other streams of revenue, you can read 3 to 4 books on a topic and be more knowledgeable of that topic than 50% of the population. And it's very true. I mean, 34% of Americans actually have a college degree, which is like, what? So a lot of people have these skills that they think, because they use them every day or they used it in life, that it's mundane. But there are people out there who are willing to pay for knowledge, people who have been in media industries for a long time, IT industries, any industry. Write a short ebook. Amazon makes it so easy to self-publish on Kindle, Amazon Fire, all of these things. Also making long-term searchable content. People who are trying to get on the web right now and trying to build a brand, podcasts, YouTube, Pinterest, long-term searchable content versus Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, where people can't go back and search that content. YouTube is there forever. It can make you money 1 year from now, 5 years from now with affiliate marketing, of course, subscription-based things. So people need to shift their focus from, okay, I want to be a model on Instagram, Facebook. I want to build long-term searchable content that is valuable to people on YouTube and Pinterest. And I think that's the future for people who want to get onto online content to build a brand. Also, again, creating ebooks. There's also things like, you can buy stocks for pennies. Now I always tell people, whenever there's a crash, go in there, wait 7 years and let those stocks rise. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity. And so, other than that, e-commerce. I always tell everyone, we have such a platform nowadays. There are an infinite amount of people on this earth that want to buy things. Even if there's a saturated niche, it's still yours. It's still different because you're making it. I tell people who think that, I love beauty, I love this, but everyone's in beauty, everyone's in this, but not everyone is you. And that's what makes it different. And if you work at it every day, if you're consistent, you can build a successful e-commerce brand and live freely, make money in your sleep. It's very easy nowadays. Not easy in the sense that, it's not going to be any work. It's going to be probably the same amount of work as going to a 9-to-5 job, if not more in the beginning, but the payoff is 3 times the amount. So I always tell people in times when things seem like they're crashing down, you have to look for the opportunity. And it's also going to be a hard work, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be growth. And I think that's what the times are doing to us right now, allowing us to grow.
I love that answer because it's true. I was just watching something on Barstool Sports. I'm a diehard sports fan. And they were talking about Dave Portnoy, otherwise known as El Presidente, how he's become a huge day trader during this time. So it's cool to see sports was shut down. He adapted and overcome. I think more people need to do that. And when you talk about e-commerce, it's true. I mean, even this shirt I'm wearing comes from an e-commerce brand, and I'm going to give a shout out Zaya. Zaya's, hey, I have no shame. It's my show. I can do what I want to do. Let's shout out sponsors' names. Hey, let's just do it. Hello. But it's an e-commerce brand that I've watched grow. My wife actually runs part of their business, and
Amazing.
to see their numbers from March to today, it's crazy. Record-breaking sales. And it's not just them. It's not just alone to Zaya. Insert a e-commerce brand that has direct marketing, and you can earn money. And it's not little bits of money. It's not this couple bucks. It's a couple $1,000s going in, and it's not a lot of work. You have to do an Instagram story, show your outfit of the day.
I know. Yeah, exactly. Hey,
It's not
don't knock until you try. Yeah, I mean, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. And, nowadays you can buy already made websites that are already bringing revenue. You can even buy and sell domains. There are so many creative ways online to make money. And so, it's unlimited. It really is. Like, even with a saturated market, everyone has their own unique touch, and that's going to call out to different markets. So I definitely encourage people don't have one e-commerce store, have many e-commerce stores. Put your eggs in as many baskets as you can. And that's why I think the 21st century is like going to.
I mean, you see from the gig economy, I mean, especially with Fiverr came out, I think more and more people are using Fiverr. Number one, it's affordable. Number two, it's deadly turnaround time. I mean, it's like that.
Yeah.
And you can build whatever you want. If you don't know how to do it, you can pay. And you talked about YouTube. Absolutely. There's so many ways to, start YouTube. I mean, we launched this show, and its whole process is YouTube is what I base it all off of. I don't care. I love you, Facebook, but I don't care. I love you, Facebook. In a big way, I love you. Heart. We love you. But YouTube is where I want us to be, because it is long term. Because when you hit those numbers, you can start earning income. Yeah, it takes time to get there. I think people need to know that. So touching on your point of multiple streams of income, it's huge, because not one is a get rich quick. I hate people who think that it's like, I can just go get rich right now. No, you can't. It's going to take work. So start different streams, get that hustle going. And then it's nice, because when it's all hitting, you're making more than you did at your regular job, and then you're not missing your regular job. And you're doing it from the pleasure of sitting in your home in a pair of basketball shorts and a t-shirt. I mean, that's what I'm wearing.
Exactly. I mean, it's the life. And honestly, everyone has the opportunity to live it. And right now is that it seems hard, but it's like that time to push through. And really, everyone deserves to live a life where they're free and they're doing something that they love every day. And we have the capability. Some people like going to work, though. I have met crazy people who like going into the office. You crazy people.
Yeah, you could go into the office. I'll stay right here. I like being able to travel. I like being able to work from home. I've got to spend more time with my kids than ever before. And they're older. They're going to go off to college soon, so I get to hang out with them. That's always fun. And I mean, and there's more to do. And I think one thing that we could talk about is what has changed so much, and I love your opinion on this, is the work culture where we've always been ingrained. It's an 8-hour workday, right? Get the work done, takes 12 hours. I think what people have learned in the last 12 weeks is I don't need to work 12 hours to get my job done. I could get it done in a timely manner. Because remember, a few years ago, people laughed at Tim Ferriss when he wrote his book about the 4-hour work week. And people were like, oh, it's
yes, my favorites. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a great book, right? But people laughed at me when I said it's one of my favorites. They're like, oh, must be nice you work at home. And now they're like, okay, I totally get your point. Totally, I can work. And it's not a knock. If you get your job done, it doesn't matter how long it takes you. This traditional of what time did Eric come to work? Where is Eric? It's gone now. It's like you could check, is the work done? People are no longer like, how long are you sitting in front of your desk? Which I like. So what's your thoughts on that? Do you think we're finally turning the corner? Yes, we're always going to have these weird people. Sorry, weird people. But if you like going to an office, you're just weird in my eyes. Like, who wants to do that? I don't want to have to find I don't want to drive that early in the morning.
You don't know. You have it easy. I got to do this. Takes time. This doesn't happen. Or you want to.
I mean, this takes time too. I mean, trust me, you got to keep this maintained. I mean, no, I'm just kidding.
Oh no. My God. Yeah. So
I get it. I have, trust me, 2 daughters and a wife. Trust me. I understand. I understand more than most. Like, are we ready to go yet? We'll be ready again in 45 minutes. I'll ask that question again. I'm gonna turn The Office on Netflix. Probably an episode or 2 before you're ready.
My favorite show. What? Okay.
I always got to give Office a shout out. It's my favorite. It's constantly on in our house. Like, we love The Office. But do you think more and more businesses are going to stay to what we're doing, right? We're working from home, with more and more businesses not even planning to return till January at the earliest.
Yeah.
Looks like they're saving money.
That's insane. No, absolutely. And the quote, "It's always darkest before the dawn," kind of gets me here, because we have this crazy pandemic that is giving birth to so many new things. First of all, breaking this 9 to 5 mindset, which we don't even realize is so many people's daily habit, that not only does it break the 9 to 5 lifestyle, it breaks so many other mental barriers of what you thought your life could be. Now you're at home. Now you can accomplish more. You can think differently. You can be comfortable. You don't have the stress. There are so many things that free up in your own mind, and so many possibilities. So that's one thing. Then yes, companies, I mean, just saving revenue on not having buildings, helping the environment, people not working or driving to work all the time. I mean, there's so many opportunities and rebirths in this. It just sucks that it has to be COVID, which is just, who even saw that coming, which is so crazy. But yeah, I definitely think it's a new mindset that's going to come for business owners, for people personally, for our youth also to experience like a complete shift in the way that the world works for them and them growing up. So this is going to be interesting to see how younger generations actually develop from this and what it does to them. I know my little brothers are supposed to be doing online school right now. They're basically on their skateboard 24/7, and so yeah, it's gonna be so interesting to see what the world comes back to once everything kind of goes back to normal. But it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I agree. So that's a good kind of pivot point here to talk about one thing a lot of people are struggling with, and it's been 12 weeks of this, and we kind of get this feeling, and I don't want to say it out loud, but I have this feeling that a lot of us are going to get locked down again because people can't seem to follow simple directions. I'm not going to blame anybody who's orange in his following that seems to think masks aren't needed. But let's just say it. Let's just say it. Or I could say the people everybody in New York hate. That's another easy one that you can guess. But we have a lot of people who aren't doing this, but we have a lot of people who are depressed, right? They're finding a way. Their heads in the dirt. We had an amazing guest on our show on Wednesday, and Lisa Bodenberg's her name, and she is she's actually still in the Corps. She was a Marine, and now she's a fitness expert, and she's awesome, right? And she's talking about mental health and how fitness helps you get out of it. What are some tips that you have for folks who are in this doldrum of it's easier to sit down and watch Netflix and feel sorry for yourself than go find a side hustle or go find a brand? I'll talk about Zaya again. It's easy. You can go sign up. It costs you $200 or something like that to get started. It's super easy. By the way, you can just contact my wife. I can give that info. Anyways, I'm gonna shameless pitching here, but I think it's easy for people. I mean, that's just kind of I look at it. But my mindset is adapt and overcome. It's a military thing, right? It's like shit. We got this on lock. This is easy. A lot of people don't feel that way. They're like, oh my god, everything's horrible and I can't get to work. So what advice do you give to folks to get up off the couch and get motivated?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of people are kind of feeling this way because they think the state of the world, which yes, the state of the world is awful, but the state of the world has always had something completely awful happening somewhere at some time, And yes, this is global and all that, but what actually is happening, in my opinion, is that people no longer have their habits. They no longer have their routine. You're used to waking up, you're used to seeing friends, you're used to doing these things, and all of a sudden all of that stops. And if you've ever tried to break a bad habit or any habit, try to make a new habit, that's not easy. Mentally, physically, you need a lot of self-discipline. And what people need to do, in my opinion, is find a routine. And now is the time to embrace the slow lifestyle, slow down in your own mind, in your own body, understand what you really want. And that comes from, okay, who do I want to be? Do I want to wake up in the morning and make my bed and brush my teeth if I have to or not? Do I want to make sure I eat healthy if I have to or not? If I'm not going out to see friends, do I still want to have my hair, my makeup done? You have to decide who you want to be. In my opinion, you have to write that down and you have to live that every day in this time, because this will determine who you become once things go back to normal. It's an opportunity for people to become who they want to be. And yes, they're feeling this depression and anxiety because they don't have that direction. They don't understand that it's not, okay, the state of the world is awful, everything is bad. Yeah, I mean, like most of the time, most people equate like a headache or whatever to a bad day too, like it's about keeping your habit and your routine, because you can see people who, have a job and then don't have a job for 6 months and then can't find a job or stay on unemployment for God knows how long. Like it's a very hard habit to come out of once you're not doing anything. But if you keep your habits, if you keep yourself motivated, yes, with exercise, I've been doing it every single day, trying to get out in the sun in a window, something to get the, whatever it gives us, that vitamin D. Even if I do 8-minute workouts, I find great 8-minute workouts, and I do that, and honestly, it jumpstarts my mind. And another way, with people who don't have a job right now and are really struggling with the stress, something that I recommend, and it's something I talk about in my book, is boosting your curiosity and your creativity. Writing down ideas that you think of all the time on a sticky note and putting them all in one place. Because once you can create a creative mind, which I explain how a creative mind, you're not born with it. You're not born a creative person. You come up with experiences, you have experiences, creative ideas, and through your experiences and creative ideas, you build a library, which then come together to create more creative ideas. You become more creative. So it's something that you build and grow. Someone who is more creative finds more creative answers to questions, more creative solutions to problems. So people who are creative are more open to saying, oh, this isn't a detriment, it's actually an opportunity. So building your creativity is doing more than just making you creative. It's actually building a mindset of allowing you to see other options and more options and not to see things so bad.
I love that. You touched on a lot of things. I mean, just being motivated, it's amazing how people get inside their minds and they let everything going. I've been telling people, they're like, oh my God, I can't handle social, but they don't get off of it. It's like, get off of it. If you can't handle it, like I spend a lot of time on Instagram because Instagram to me is like it's my safe space where you can just look at pictures and you're just like, oh, what did this person do? It's even for marketing ideas, I go on there. It's not because, some of it I care about the stories. So if I'm following you on Instagram, I like you. But I think there's a lot out there you can learn, and I'm educating myself without having to go. And now I'm a diehard. I'll say it here, and everybody who watches the show knows how I feel. I love Twitter. Love Twitter. I'm a sports guy. Twitter's my place. But even Twitter has become a hotbed of bad. And again, we'll blame the orange meanie who he loves Twitter. He loves it in the wrong way, not in the right way, the wrong way. But I like Twitter. I communicate with a lot of journalists on there. I talk to a lot of folks. It's cool. You see what's going on in the world. Yeah, I'm one of those people who loves celebrity gossip, so it's cool to see the celebs on there. Ryan Reynolds is hilarious on Twitter. I'm a huge fan. You kind of get in the world. And Instagram, too. Athletes are on there. Celebs are on there. It's entertaining. Turn off Facebook. Turn off your Twitter and just stay on platforms where you don't have a lot of noise that could come in from the outside and really drive you nuts. And I think Instagram is really good at that. And YouTube. I just love YouTube. You can get lost in YouTube. And even TikTok. The only danger with TikTok is going down that TikTok rabbit hole.
I am on TikTok every day. I go on there. I do dances on TikTok. Follow me, Steffi Ellen. I'll post it later. And I go on there to dance, half my workout, half creating content. And it's two birds, one stone. I learn things on there all day. Doctors are on there, writers, entrepreneurs. It's an amazing platform.
It is. And I think people should do it. Just the hazard of it is getting lost in it, because trust me, I can get lost in it pretty fast. I'm like, woo! It's funny because growing up, you see those folks like Bruce Willis has cracked me up. I don't know, he's got a lot of idle time. Wayne Brady. I think we've learned a lot. If you watch social, you hear the happy side of social. Like Wayne Brady, he's divorced. He's quarantining with his ex-wife and her boyfriend and her kids. And they're making TikTok videos, and they're hilarious. And I love Wayne Brady because he's, right? It doesn't even make sense, but it is. And you see Bruce Willis, he's with Demi Moore. They're divorced. It's just how everybody is, and I think it's cool that you get to do that. And I think if you take your mind off and don't get so sucked into, the horrible. And Facebook, to me, is probably the worst because every opinion somebody has, and it's opposite of yours, and they're not going to be nice about it and treat you like a human.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to treat you like an idiot, and you don't even deserve it. So anyways, So you mentioned a vision board earlier, and I love this topic. Now, I'm not a vision board person, and I can say that. But my wife, oh my God, she's the CEO of our company, LifeFlip Media. She runs a couple others. She has side hustle, Zaya again.
Already, I don't even know her.
Yeah, she's awesome. I'll send you her Instagram. You guys should follow each other, definitely. That's how we work around there. And her TikTok. She loves TikTok. She doesn't dance yet, but we're working. I've been trying to get people to do the weekend dance with me since this started. Nobody will do it. They're like,
no, me either. It's fine.
Nobody wants me to dance.
Never alone. It's fine.
I love TikTok. But anyways, you have a vision board, and perfect example of a vision board. My wife has followed it since she built one. And just Friday, she was able to check another thing off. She did 2 days in a row of checking things off of her vision board, which was huge, and it was celebrated. She was able to buy the car that she put on her vision board. Like, go in, walk out, it's parked in our garage. It was a huge victory. Mm-hmm. I didn't understand it because I set goals, I achieve them, and I celebrate, but I do goals differently. Right. But you're talking about a vision board, and I want to dive into this because I think vision boards are cool. And I also, another thing, just so we don't forget before you go, I do want to talk about scheduling out your day. Because I think that is a key to your morning. And you see a lot of people posting it. And I think it's amazing because I do that, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to meditate, going to eat, going to do this, going to work, going to do the show.
Yeah, exactly.
And kind of like you kind of plan out your day. It's weird that we have to live that way, but you actually get it done. And it's like being home. I've been able to do that. I'm like, 7 a.m. I'm meditating. I plug in my headphones, Peloton app. Shout out Peloton. Look at this. There's a whole bunch of people I need to sponsor my show, and I'm going to keep saying
right?
I mention Peloton a lot. Peloton.
Wear the shirt.
I'll wear the Peloton shirt. Wear the Zaya shirt. Oh, Zaya and Peloton, they can go together. Whoa! No, just kidding. But talk about the vision board. Talk about why, number one, why a vision board is so important, and two, how you do your vision board and how it's helped you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wrote a book, How to Create the Most Effective Vision Board. And the first thing I mentioned is that I don't call it a vision board because my vision board is truly so much more than that. When you see it, if you were to see the book, you would see it's like way different than any vision board you've seen. I call it a personal growth board because that's truly what it is. I mean, you can have a vision, but the point is, you know, in life to grow, to get there, to overcome your obstacles, to get to your goals, right? So in my personal growth board, I have 4 different sectors. So you have your traditional vision board that you would see, the one with the pictures. And then I have a section for your written out goals. There's a section for your daily habits and habits you want to develop. And then there's a section for your ideas, the idea center. And like I said, it's about building curiosity, having a place where you see your ideas every day so that you can build a toolbox of ideas to put together and be more creative. So my personal growth board is kind of a mixture of like a planner and also a vision board. So, and that's something you're going to see every day. I go into talking about how to visualize. There's a lot of amazing exercises out there that allow you to put yourself in the scenario, put yourself standing where you want to be. Not so much that you can magically attract it and be there. It's so that you have the confidence to move forward. And a lot of people equate like, being a positive person, I have a vision, I'm attracting. No, you are having the confidence and the power and the belief in yourself to move forward, which a lot of us don't have. A lot of us, whether we know it or not, consciously or subconsciously, our self-confidence is shot. And not so much like, everyone has their confidence, but most people are not becoming their full potential because of fear, because of doubt, because of other people. And social media is a big additive to that. So, it talks about being able to visualize and have the confidence to move forward, putting all the noise and the negative talk behind you and being able to achieve your goals. Then I also have, where you put your yearly and monthly goals. It's interchangeable, so you're actually physically interacting with your board all the time. And that's another thing I talk about is when you're visualizing, when you're creating goals, when you are creating a vision, when you're thinking about it, when you're planning it, you need to engage all of your senses. You need to smell what it's going to smell like when you're there. You need to see what it's going to look like. You need to feel the sand in your toes. You need to taste, the bakery muffins in your mouth, or if you want to be in Paris. You have to engage all of your senses. That is where true belief and true confidence and true visualization comes. It's not about seeing something and being like, So again, in my book, I talk about the brain science behind building these habits, behind making this work. Like saying it's not positivity and manifestation, it's confidence and belief in yourself to move forward. So breaking it down to where even people who don't believe in vision boards so much kind of understand the logic and can implement it. It's very easy for anyone to implement. There's a lot of things in there. My book also has exercises that really get you to think introspectively about what you want from life in your life. Because a lot of us, we end up chasing a dream our entire lives, living a life our entire lives that we think we love, and then we end up thinking like, man, I actually wanted this, or I wish I had done that. And to be honest, it's because we aren't in touch with our own desires. We are scared to get to know the things that we really like because sometimes they're not what we want them to be. Sometimes you want to be a successful lawyer, but your insides is telling you to be a painter, a pastel painter. There are things that maybe we don't want to understand or allowed to come up, because there's so many things coming from the outside of what we should be and what we want, because of marketing and all of that in society. So and this is the time to do it, get introspective, really understand, and my book has great exercises for it, to really get to know what you want so you don't waste time in this life, because, we're all realizing life is too short, and all of a sudden we can't even do anything anymore, and God knows when we're going to be able to do it again. So don't waste any more days.
I love that. That's kind of goes with my motto. I talk about waking up and having blessed to have a fresh 24, right? It's awesome that we get to consistently do that, because people just put themselves in such a place where you need to put it together, because that structure builds a process and it actually helps you through. It's hard because we are filled with so much of what was normal is gone. They call it the new normal, which drives me crazy because it's not. Because it's not. I never wore a mask before.
Normal.
What the hell is normal? Going to a restaurant and celebrating being at a restaurant? Sorry, was never that happy. I mean, maybe when I went to some nice restaurants in New York when I traveled, I was treated great. I mean, now at every restaurant, I'm treated like a superhero walking in. They're like, "Thank you for coming here. Thank you."
Yeah, I honestly, though, customer service, I can't even imagine.
Right? It's like 100% better. I mean, living on the West Coast, I know you're in New York, but on the West Coast, we are in phase 1, and our phase 1 was basically everything opened with restrictions. So a mask, like today, started the first day. If you're out in public, it's mandatory to wear it. Again, I know people who don't like wearing a mask, but if I get to go get my hair cut, do what I want to do, and I have to wear a mask to go there, I'm not going to drive with one on. And I know driving is something New Yorkers are like, what the hell's that? But there's a thing where you drive your own car. It's kind of cool. You should come out to the burbs and try it.
Yeah, I don't even have my car anymore.
Just whenever you come out to Portland, we'll show you. You could drive one of our cars. We'll let you. You'll feel cool. But I think it's funny. People have pushed back on some things, and I'm like, you should focus on positive things. So a vision board. I mean, my wife has what you're talking about. I want to make sure your link is included in this show. So folks, when you're watching this, just make sure you scroll down and you can find Stephanie's link right there, so you can put it all in there, because you need to buy it, because I think it's important to follow a schedule. I mean, before it was, I'm trying to think of the book people did. Was that Notebook, the journaling the journaling book.
Yeah, journaling in the morning when they would write down.
Yeah, I mean, people are big on that. I think you need to do that. Building a schedule, doing what you do. It's going to keep you sane. Your brain's not going to pop off, and you're not going to be like, damn, I wanted to work out today, but I didn't. That's
funny you mention journaling, because I actually talk a lot about that in my book, and how people talk about journaling in the mornings and all of these things. And I actually had a really fun trick about, if you're someone that's stuck in a negative mindset and you go to sleep, or you come home every day and you're kind of in that negative mindset, you don't see the positive in your day, what I actually recommend, instead of doing those journals in the morning, is actually to do them at night and talk about all of the positive things that happen in your day, because with that, you can turn even the worst days into a positive day. You will find the positives and slowly start to train yourself, not so much to wake up and be like, this is a fresh day, let's be positive, more like, anything that comes at me, I'm going to turn it into a positive. And then you sleep better, you sleep in a positive mindset, and therefore wake up in a positive mindset. And so that's one of the tricks I've learned, because I used to do journaling a lot, and I loved it, and it was great. It did teach me a lot about myself, but a lot of the days were wasted monotony, just reiterating the same thing, or, I'm waking up, I'm feeling great, which is fine. Some people, it works for really great. For me, I found that doing it in the nighttime, talking, going through my day, being reflective, and then writing down the positive things, put me in a positive mindset as I slept and as I woke up. So try that too if you're having a hard time journaling in the morning.
I like that, because I know I like to write. I do write in a journal. I have no shame in my game saying that I do that, because I know it's funny. People are like, hey, why do you do that? I'm like, I like it because I write out what I do at the end of the day. It's like I come in my office, usually after dinner or something, I'll come upstairs, I'll sit down, and I just kind of put my headphones in, put something good on Apple Music. Shout out Apple Music. It's like, look, this is like shameless plugging around here.
I know.
We're going to keep doing this as we continue doing this. The whole show is just shameless plugging, but that's what we do. But no, I plug it in, and I get to listen to something nice. I don't know. I make different stuff on mine, and you just write it out, and it's cool to see how each day is different. You have good days, you have bad days. Excuse me. And I think it's important that people write the good and the bad. I know a lot of people journal like everything's peachy keen. Well, how do you fix anything? And there's no way your day's perfect every day. Sorry. I'm just going to call you as I see it. There's no way. Not during COVID-19. You're just, nope, sorry. You're going to have bad days where you're like,
exactly.
I got to stand on a dot.
Oh, I know. I went to the Dairy Queen, and you had to like stand 6 feet apart on the circles. It's so funny.
Right? And it's so weird. The dot. It's like, and the dot's not even 6 feet apart. I've looked at some of the dots. I'm like,
where's the measuring? Where's the guy?
Who measured this? This isn't 6 feet. That's where we're at now. We're like, or you start watching commercials and you're like, they're not maintaining social distancing. Right. When did they film this?
They'll talk about us in the history books, like 2020, when they all wore the mask and walked 6 feet apart.
And they all complained about it.
Florida.
Welcome to America. They complained about everything. That's what we do. We're entitled. We're like, dang it. We want to be those people. We're good at that. So, I mean, hold on. I just had a complete brain fart. That was fun.
Yeah.
You get to do that live. Brain fart. Boom. So, I mean, it's been great talking about motivating. So before you go, I want to have you talk about your book real fast again, just so folks know what they're getting into. It's an ebook. So it's awesome, and it's about journaling. Jump into it. Tell folks where they can find it. And then my last one for you is, are you planning on writing any other books?
Actually, yes. My next book is coming out pretty soon. It's called The Curiosity Code, and it is all about unlocking your curiosity and your creative mind. My book, How to Create the Most Effective Vision Board, you can find it on comfylink.com, and you'll see it right on there. On my Instagram, if you guys follow me, Miss USA International, there's a code on there to get it for free, so you guys can check that out. It is such an amazing book. It is a short 100-page ebook, lots of pictures, lots of examples. I have done years of research on vision boards and finding what works best, how to engage your senses, how to work with your brain so that you're not only having a vision board every day to look at, but you're creating goals that last a long time and that you're motivated to actually go and do. So you're going to learn that. You're going to learn how to visualize correctly. There's a lot of exercises to find out what you want for your future and how to plan your future, and a lot of great resources, books, and guides like that. So it's short, sweet, and has a lot of great information. It honestly changed my life. My vision board, this is a funny story. The very first thing I put on my vision board was a picture of the Eiffel Tower. I wanted to travel. I was quitting my job at NBC because I didn't want to work behind the camera anymore. I wanted to be in front of it. And I left, made this vision board, and about 2 months later, I won in a Dove sweepstakes for Dove chocolate, using their hashtag in a picture that I took, a trip for two to Paris for a week, luxury, everything. So it was literally like magic. And now I have visited every single place on my vision board for free. Everything on my vision board, which is right next to me, it has literally come true. The images, the place I live. And this is in a short span of 3 years because I teach you how to create the most effective images, how to choose the right images, because yes, there is a right type of image for correct visualization. You can't just stick any picture on there. I talk about the specifics of making sure that it's relatable to you and finding what you really care about. So there's a lot of great things. You can find it on comfylink.com and the free code on my Instagram.
Outstanding. See, I love it. I didn't even have to tell you to plug yourself. You did it exactly like I told you. I was like, yes! I'm like, make sure you put your Instagram in there. And again, if you missed any of that, just scroll down. It's in the subject line of this post on YouTube. So you can find it there. If you're watching us on Facebook, it is in the video you're currently watching. Look down for a to-the-point comment, and we will have Stephanie's information there so you can follow her on Insta. And also, go get her book, because you need it. A vision board is key. Don't be embarrassed to get a vision board. I'm talking to you, men, guys, not just women. Guys, go get a vision board. We're talking to you. Look, she did the eye thing. You know you have to do it. Anyways, Stephanie, it's been great having. We need to have you back on more often. We need to, at least once a month, we need to get you committed to coming on, and we can talk about vision boards and just keeping your head up. I think it's important that we continue this. One of the biggest crises I think we're going to face, I know 2020 and using the word crisis and chaos, but we're going to have a lot of people need to keep their head up. It's a tough time. Let's just face it. A lot of people unemployed. It's election year, which is just, it's a dumpster fire. Like I always say, the election this year is like you either pick shooting yourself in the chest or shooting yourself in the leg. Exactly. We're not winning. You're coming away with a wound. So that's just how it is. But I want to thank you for joining us today. Again, it's been great. So thank you so much, and we'll talk to you really soon.
Bye.
Let's get to the point.